Oh, for us now, good evening. Again, we don't come the program in the watch now, UDUOTA. UDUOTA means heart of the matter, and with the reach now from Independent Television Nigeria. Well, last week, Monday, we did and we talk about some statement when we say Edo State Governor talk when he get to do with the youth and they want to rehabilitate the minds of those people. We will do part 2 of that program again because we really want to tell the people some of the latest development going to happen. But today, we'll enter another side of it, which is the Russia and Ukraine and Russia crisis when we say it go on. It don't pass 1 week now when this matter the ground and the thing it get worse and worse in different nations. So for Nigeria, first of all, federal government don't send plane, may go there, go carry Nigerians come, many things don't happen. But not be me go do discussion because today people they have some say 2 of us could do all of the discussion. My name is Matt Pololo as usual, and I do with my brother Tinosa Igebo, will be a politician at the same time in a public affairs analyst, and first one say he did very vast for international policy. Tinosa, good evening.
Good evening. Viewers, good evening.
Frank Amegon, and one person will say he did read quite well when he got into international policies too. He also did grant for it. In fact, he did granted in so many areas. When he talked of word of medicine, he did there. When he talked of word of politics, he did there. When he called things of leadership, he did there. And when he called things of the spirit, he also did there. So in our round, and today, Frank Amegon there with us. Frank, good evening.
Yeah, I put for studio now. Good evening. Put for house. Now, well done. No.
I don't see your personal assistant.
PA day busy. As I got the outside, so PA day busy. Yes.
Okay, Etisa, just tell us something about what will be the current situation now. This issue of Ukraine and Russia, to you, where the world they go?
Well, personally, I believe it's a very sad situation. Say Russia and Ukraine get this conflict where they get. I would have really wished, say, before the problem even get to this level where we say they can physically engage each other, people die for this and people die for the other side. Obviously, a small nation like Ukraine fighting with a superpower like Russia, say it not really happen like that. War get different dynamism to them. And in a country where they develop like that, not be, when it get where civilization go reach, it be like who don't bomb Peking. No matter how bad the Peking be or how difficult the scenario around them be, you go always find negotiating platform. Make it not be like saying a quarrel and war, because war not good. Russia did too powerful for Ukraine to face. Because the way it be now, be like say the Ukrainians or the CC, the Americans were they very far away compared to the European who joined them, where they close to them, irrespective of the Western affiliation. Say they're not really bringing boots or or impose certain military tactical, for example, no-fly zone, where go affect Russia, may not create direct confrontation between them and Russia. And then they say we need our own freedom. Russia, they say, they kill our people. We do inside Donetsk and those areas for the past since 2014. And not resolved. And now they don't enter full-scale kind of war. Russia, they surround them. And with the military might of Russia, I can only imagine, say, yes, sanctions and all those things will work to an extent, but victory regarding the military way aspect of it, Russia will get their way. That is practically what I believe would happen.
Frank, I read one people when we say the president of Ukraine, because they say, me did not send them, me did not come carry and come, because people as America come, they say, me they don't come carry. You see, no, me they don't come carry, say, me they come send a weapon. Now, the weapon, when people say other people, they send, and I ain't they rely on, be how you want to win this one?
The way I see Russia and Ukraine, just as my brother talking just now, the war not supposed to start at all. This is what they talking with mouth. That's why when 2 lizards they fight, you use hand and leg. Now they fight each other. They say what they place, they tell each other, not they finish. So suppose sit down, look for a simple way. When it can be say ordinary citizen for Ukraine or Russia, now they die, and that's not good. So the matter where they ground, they first still talk Because after the war now, they still sit down and talk. Why not sit down and talk in the first time? So even if America, NATO, and the rest, they say, oh yeah, fight, you consider the people where you get. Because if you waiting Russia gets and waiting Ukraine get, like say ant and elephant, one fight. So even as America and 30 countries away from the NATO can't say, go fight. That's still look for peaceful ways to end the fight. I get one senior friend that time, so many years ago. He come to class for secondary school. Then one big boy for a class, now he's small that time, but they be classmates. He and the big boy called the quarrel. You know, as local school be now, they don't say after closing, in the back of school or under the mango tree, they go fight. So as they all ring bell, say we don't close. Now the friend of the smaller one come tell and say, may no fight. So now just come out, say, no fight, come out. So people come carry a bag. Say, come fight. Say, that man way they go so. Tell me, say, no fight. You don't go now. I say, we know, I know, but you don't tell me, say, no fight. So this fight now, the troubles will full everywhere. The most part of the world, they join Ukraine. But we don't die for Ukraine now. Does he come back? They won't give you weapons to fight. To me, it's supposed to be say, instead of say, give me weapons to fight, help me settle this matter. Because when they don't fight finish, what will happen? There's some buildings they don't destroy so far now. Who will build them back? For president of Ukraine, they say they bring more ammunition. Your population not trained, not get that training. You don't get enough soldiers compared to Russia. I have to say America and the other 30 nations where from NATO will join you face to face, go fight. I for like say, okay, but I'll go fight. But the one they say you things, as me up a lot of 1 for studio now, it just I say you give me glucose. You not go join me, you go give me glucose where I get energy. And don't they pay me. Glucose not heal the pain where I get. If I get energy, but blood will flow. So if they not can't join you, because Ukraine not the part of the NATO group. So because of that, they don't join the fight. Why not you tell them, say, airport settle this matter? At the same airport settle between Russia and Ukraine, then once matter don't die down, we'll come join that group. I don't feel that's what I mean. We'll come join that group so that if any time Russia will fight us again, we'll now go join us fight. So, say, there's no aspect of war where you say, okay, win and not win. All the things we don't destroy. Now, peace all of us need. As they know they bomb everywhere, so it affects everybody, directly and indirectly. Where you get person for Ukraine or you get neighbor or so. One of my colleagues last week come carry a teacher like me, come carry things, go Ukraine, won't go bring his son, come back. Don't spend money. With this small money they pay also, you can still gather them, go spend them for that side. And maybe we're going to come back now, back to Nigeria. So war not good. What America and the rest supposed to do not to make sure that the war not take place.
Sir, what in Russia they look for from Ukraine we did not already get?
Well, and a very good question you ask. I think people need to understand the dynamism of the aspect of this war will happen for Ukraine. If we not talk as a be on this level, we'll not be waiting everybody to just get to understand. Because the international matter and far away from this country. There is these issues of hegemony. Who be the number one superpower? American are the superpower, Russian are the second superpower, militarily. Now who get military might? Now they dominate, they demand whatever they want to get. As big as China, China are probably third or fourth to a large extent in the ranking. So China will get 1.something billion people. Russia will get about 80 something million or thereabout citizens. America, they get 200 something million citizens. For some reason, Russia is number 2 because of their capacity to build modern day ammunition, they get the necessary stealth bombers, they get the military understanding. They were former Soviet Union. If you look at Ukraine, Ukraine was in the former Soviet Union. They don't reduce them to the point that even in the landmass of Russia today, still bigger than the US. That's still the biggest landmass in the whole world. Russia is saying that Ukraine, you do on our own, since we don't not be part of Soviet again. So Czechoslovakia, all these former Soviet states and nations, they are now even European countries like Poland and Czechoslovakia, Slovakia. To me, I think if Russia get interest to have much influence in those states now, for many years now, you don't get any war with them. I can tell you that for the past 20 years, Russia never really started any war. They just want to hold their corner. But there's this constant knocking on the door by the US, using its allies, as they say, NATO or whatever, say, they want to carry Ukraine, join NATO. Some kind of a military formation. We will give them the opportunity and the legal way to come into Ukraine. Maybe perhaps they border with Russia to build some kind of more sophisticated military systems. What Russia say no need. Same thing that America do with Cuba. America say if Cuba need to strengthen its military capacity, Russia don't get the right to join them to do it. Even when Cuba seeks Russian support through Fidel Castro, the US say if you try and they will invade Cuba, Russia pull out. So now what Russia say they talk for Ukraine say, for Ukraine, in 2014, they removed elected president, whether legally or illegally, they removed for Ukraine. And that was a pro-Russian president. We don't want to join NATO, even if we want to be part of EU. When they don't use that uprising to remove her, they can't do another election, can't bring pro-Western president. That was the first guy. Subsequently, pro-Western president. So the president are now saying to the Russian Federation, say, they want to join NATO. Russia can say, you're not going to join NATO. If you join NATO, it means they're not a threat to us, because we know in America they use NATO. Now NATO bombed Gaddafi when they leave Tikrit. Now European Nation Protection Army, but they get a lot of orders from the United States. And that NATO, Russia, they say, when America say we're not going to do this for Cuba, we rest. Why they want to do this for our backyard? We don't agree. Because we know say if you do them, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, when we quickly launch to even divide us more, all those power play, Russia say no going to happen. Because Russia get power, then they tell America, say, if you try and you get trouble. In 2008, when they go Georgia, they tell W. Bush, say, make you arm your friends for Georgia. Arm them. If you arm them, you see what you will do. George Bush eventually went for peace. Till today, Georgia, they on their own. Russia not invade them. And they are next door neighbor. So to me, I don't see why there's a constant nagging. If not, there's an ulterior motive to further reduce Russia as a superpower. Because Russia offend the US in some ways. When they go Syria, US rise up people to remove the pro-Russian president, which is that president then. Russia make sure they support the president with ammunition and everything. They're not going to remove the guy. America not they happy.
That Syria man.
President. When they go after Gaddafi through NATO, when they say weapons of mass destruction, there was nothing like that. They don't get chemical weapon, which they admitted later, but they don't destroy Libya today. Libya don't get peace again today. Russia now they supply Libya arms. Russia remove her. They say because Gaddafi is a threat to the world, if he develop nuclear weapon, Russia remove her. They remove Gaddafi. If they say Russia join Gaddafi, they will not remove her. So what Russia is saying is that we never ever create war for a long time. But our citizens who are in Ukraine, they kill them because now pro-Western president they Ukraine. We don't want that thing to happen. Because the collapse of the Soviet Union means that some Russians can enter some countries. That will not mean we cannot let them exist. That is why they started talking about the issue of annexing Crimea. All the Russian-speaking states, they call the republic. Before now, they were all living peacefully. So I think the people where they create the problem, in my own understanding, coming from the kind of background when I come from, I've done a lot on foreign relations. America will tell you, say, American foreign interests, they don't need to benefit the country where they go for. If their interest policy now to destroy a country, they'll destroy them for their own policy, for their own benefit. Some rhetoric saying that because they want to sell their LNG, I mean they want to create problem, maybe they create quarrel, so that they'll say they don't need to buy Russian cheap gas or cheap energy again, so that they themselves can supply their own. The way they take people for slave trade, the way they keep people, they use them, dump them, still they get problem with black people. If you come TV, they'll say black man, they did good with them, but for those countries, even for America today, They keep black people where they don't live with them, where they don't born there. They'll say one eye down. So nothing you feel right away, or you feel push under the carpet, say it's not possible, say they happen like this. So for the Russians, they believe that they protect and they defend themselves against the future. That what they do so not be purely Ukraine idea, not be Ukrainian citizens idea, not be even purely Europeans idea. Because in the last 20 years, Russia and the Europeans don't come close in terms of economic relationship. They don't do many things. They don't do many businesses. Why all of a sudden now we can't need to do this fight? But as long as America, they tell you now what you will do. If the Americans talk, they themselves they trouble. Now make Russia, they tell you, say, President, they tell you, say, he don't already put nuclear weapons on alert. Those kind of things, now be waiting to go fear them. Why did they tell you, say, they don't feel put boots on the ground, they don't feel declare? Because they know, say, Russia, say, if Russia don't need to exist, no need for the world to exist. That is a direct threat to the world. Because they feel, say, there's a plan to annex and destroy them. So for them to go as a superpower, they'll let you know, say, that Ukraine, when they go there, we will teach those people lesson. We'll take over the government. We don't want to make it happen. Since we lead them, may they be, we could do what we need to do. As long as they say they want generator. If they don't want generator now, the peace talk, they feel resolve everything. Do you understand? So to me, I know say Putin are a very kind of crazy person. you understand? But in craziness, don't see calm down for many years now. Because if somebody come your house, go divide your house, you let the tenant stay, you know they collect money from them. If the tenant can't say, go carry your enemy come the house, you say, if you bring the enemy, I will collect the property, I'll collect the house from you again. You'll not say, now the enemy, now the people where they come from outside, now they trigger the anger where Russia they get to say, small Ukraine, will they come from now? So now there the issue there right now.
Frank.
Yes.
Would it be some of the, first of all, we'll start from, are there economic lessons where Nigeria feel learn from this country, or the world feel learn? You get within economy, how it affect economy?
Yeah, you get one. I can't laugh for. I cannot understand them. The way to explain that one, they can say all animals will get horns. Make them come out. Nice snake can say come with your horns. Don't do that tentacle. Because I will not be horn. So Nigeria now, they react to something. Nigeria say they want to start nuclear power now. Ordinary light will not get. Roof not there, water not there. All these things not there. School now, universities they down. And the says another union won't go on strike. If I should call up their own, they will start. You don't always solve simple problem. Because you also say, hey, now nuclear power now, we just start them. So it's supposed to be gains to us. Though now problem to poor Ukraine especially, now they suffer them. February last year, no, sorry, 16th of February this year, 2022, Nigeria, Niger, and Algeria, they can't sign agreement for the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline, where they supply Europe. And Europe now agree, say, they go do the construction and they go pay put. I often say, the Europe think, say, if Russia now to do Yanga, we'll get another direction, yes. Maybe they ever look at America now, but you have to say through Africa.
They're closer.
Yeah, they're closer. Yes.
We get many for those states.
So just from Nigeria to Niger, Algeria, it don't reach Europe with that. So I feel say they were not on a plan B. So it's supposed to be the advantage of us, for Nigeria here. But as we be now, the money we don't see them. About loot, we don't see them. Now, what's supposed to be gain now? Crude oil. As at today, now $115 per barrel. Weigh that difference. How much the budget and now weigh that money, where it don't enter. So now the aspect of corruption, not to make us see the gain of this war. Ordinarily, apart from the gas that they want to start to supply, or the crude oil don't increase, and that's the they come back because now Russia or Ukraine, both of them, they supply more than 30% of wheat to the whole world. So from there now, anytime from now, bread will call a dear. But as bread go dear, he did my Bible say man shall not live by bread alone. So we can easily push that aside. Go eat yam, or just powder up, drink them. So at the end of the day, what's supposed to be our gain for Nigeria, we feel crystallize them to the extent say when they fight war between Russia and Ukraine, see what we can do. We can do light. Now, light now 12 hours in a day. So that's what we look at. Why not see trust say the gain will manifest for Nigeria for the Gulf War, where that war they fight. The money they gather, where the money? So to just say straight, say gain go day, we not go manifest, and that be my challenge. Otherwise, ordinarily, gains full am. But if as petrol is scarce for Nigeria, so people they build houses already. They get ways to make money. Full attendant now, oga. So with this war situation now, in a way, I can't look at. Now Russia and Ukraine they fight. I understand some bits of combat because I guess more training for karate. You dey beat person they beat you back. That not be fight. Now beating. Russia they beat Ukraine.
That's what I talk so.
Yeah, they beat Ukraine.
But some people say for Twitter and CNN, Russia they win.
That I talk so.
You say that Ukraine they win.
No, I say Ukraine will win.
Where they win?
No, say Ukraine will win. No, say for Twitter and CNN, Ukraine they win the war.
How do you want to win?
Remember, say I come here before, and I tell you guys, I tell you about this Russian and this Ukrainian dispute, saying a very wrong thing, a purely selfish act.
By who?
By the Americans. Not the Americans as the population and the citizens. Now, the very nice people. American citizens are very nice, but the leadership of the American people.
Maybe we go to international politics more. What will be American interest for Libya, Syria, and even Iraq? Because these now places where we say, for instance, now, if you, since when America enter over this Libya thing for Gaddafi, see what did happen for Libya.
Yes.
See Iraq, problem. See even Afghanistan, they don't come out.
Yemen.
See Yemen.
Yemen.
Okay, what then they look for? But they don't paint those. Is it that the world not they see those aspects of that country?
See, now good question you ask. I would like to answer that question, but before that, I want to throw a bit light into the question when you ask her. When they talk about the gains we will get, Nigeria, for example, the crude oil price don't go up. There's gains, but you see, most of our crude oil exports based on swap, whereby you carry our crude because of the inability to refine it here. You carry the crude, you refine and give us the product we need. So that way, Nigeria knows still to benefit them to a large extent. But for the ones where they sell, that's still very good thing when Nigeria will benefit. You see, sub-Saharan Africa gas pipeline, what they call it, consider. So initially they felt jettison now because they complain of corruption. Corruption, say our people corrupt. But when they say corruption thing that they complain about Russia. Ukraine still they very corrupt as well. The West, where they say they're not corrupt, now they build corruption, now they burn corruption. Because you will be surprised that all this interest, how you go to ask for person, say, why this person constantly they fight for this, even when the age don't pass the age to run for a particular office, or when they don't do there for so long. The quest and the love for power. And I use the word hedge money. I'm number one, that unnecessary pride. They are born that way, now their nature. To say anything when I talk, you go answer me. So if you look at Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, I know people will die for England, like a guy called Dr. David Kelly, where he say they don't get weapons of mass destruction there, they don't get chemical weapons. But the reasons why me believe they go after Iraq was because Saddam say, you know what I mean, they use American dollar to trade the oil. They say, you don't get mad to talk out. Because as a superpower, we must open your market for us. And as a superpower, we will dictate to you, say, the world currency is the dollar. You don't use dollar, we'll come after you. And they went after him.
But the president of Iraq there too, he they make map that and say be more than the day.
I say be now. When you know say the thing don't reach your doorstep, you get to try now because he's saying you go die like man mortar. You get to try because they don't already map you. Now mapping, now interest. All these countries where they look. Syria is a very big country with lots of crude oil. Libya, crude oil. Iraq, crude oil. Afghanistan may be strategically of importance because of the cocaine where they produce there to limit them because it still they affect the Western country. So nothing that they do will benefit no day. So for a person to tell you, say, go do this fight, go do that fight. When the United Nations vote against going to war in Iraq, US veto one. The whole UN say, no, no, no go. They say, man, they go that war. Russia say, make no, no go. They're not here. They go that war. After 20 years, many years, they say they made mistake. Say that war, no WMD. But they be superpower now. They're supposed not to WMD. You know? Sometimes they say they even move the refinery of the WMD, which is weapons, biological weapon. It was just a pure lie. Tony Blair was in the forefront with W. Bush. They achieved their aim. Even when people expose certain documents, Chelsea Manning, Brandon Manning, Edward Snowden, and WikiLeaks, they enter trouble till tomorrow. You understand? When you say what will be their interest for those things, they get to destabilize those things for something to gain weight. I'm not saying that if anybody knows the American position or the Western powers, you know, do the same. Russia first did one before. But it gave where development will reach, it gave where civilization will reach. Dialogue. What is the point of having a relationship with Russia? What is the point of Russia supplying cheap energy to Europe to feed their homes, supplying whatever they need to do whatever they do, like wheat, for example, if they deal with Russia? Why not sit down and resolve issues? Why must it be in this way? When the war don't come, you can't supply arm where they must pay you for. Greece today, from the world financial crisis, Greece is still indebted, and they're in Europe. Portugal is still indebted. Ireland, they managed to get out of it. Italy managed to get out of it. Spain, manageably, they are still struggling from just giving them free treasury bills. When they don't spend the money, I see some money there somewhere. At the end, they're indebted to servicing those loans. So all this political interest is the ideology of what they happen. Look at China now. China say, why not address Russia security interest? Because not be you. Russia say, not be you go tell me what you go make me feel secure for my home. Because not make me tell you your own. So the interest in those countries, all these countries where they go now, they are war-torn. Beautiful countries, but today because of interest, supplying arms, bombing people strategically, because if they're not agreed to, if you're not agreed to let them carry what they want, they'll come after you. Russia president can say, Nelson Mandela say, when they used bomb for Japan during the, I think the Second World War, they won't use that to tell the other countries say we get power. The people where they use those bombs taking, not be Japanese army, now innocent citizens. They hammered the first bomb, it killed about 270,000 people. The second one, little baby, killed about 83,000 people. After that, they suffered a nuclear problem. That's why they talk about the war in Ukraine, about the nuclear plant. Because Russia don't tell you, say, he get enough nuclear bomb. If you not misbehave, and they come for now. So that war not going to escalate past like that. By the grace of God, now the Ukrainians will be, they be like guinea pigs. Because they don't feel fight with Russia. Why you can't push them to go get issues with Russia? Even if it has to be strategic, there are other ways to do it. The world is civilized so much now that war is not even good. And the funny thing is that when the Ukrainians were even the problem they behave, they still they racist to black people. They don't want me Nigerians or any other black person enter train. These are people where they say that they say the whole world they for. They are racist. You understand? People who in your country, they don't commit crime. They can't screw, they can't still be part of a society. You they discriminate against them. To me, it is very difficult to understand you know, who you go stand for or against for, or for or against. If they come Africa, come buy gas or come do pipeline, me I go happy because something must give way for something to happen. But the stage where Russia there as a country, they prefer for this kind of problem for many, many years. If the Ukrainians are racist to black people, even in problems, so that really tells you that you should think, well, we as black people or Nigerians need to love ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, we will develop our place, take advantage of this opportunity now. Like all this, we get good ground where we grow wheat and whatever. If we unite for this country, we will make things happen. Not just in Africa, we will impact many things in the world. Because natural resources and gas are a very good thing. Everywhere we do, they happens, the big men or the power bloc get interest there. Russia is so blessed. America is also blessed. But America, they're far away in the American continent. The war not even near them. They sleep, they wake up well. Ukrainians, so they next door to Russians and even the Russians, they suffer the heat. To me, I don't think the war is good. I know say Russia get their own fault as well, because they support those rebels within the country of Ukraine. Maybe they challenge the government. But what they are saying is that they don't put in a peace process on the ground. All this while they bend down, say they don't want to hear about that. So now they want to go in there, go do whatever they need to do. Europe say, Boris Johnson say, they know they go war there, they know they put boots there. They don't want to do anything will create direct confrontation with Russia because they themselves don't want that. So why create problems? Why when the CNN and BBC and those people they report news, France 24, they report according to the instructions. If you reach to Russian TV and some other channels in the Eastern Bloc, India, whatever, they tell you the reality on ground. Why I talk so? When Iraq war they go on, the waiting CNN and the rest they report and BBC, it did very different from waiting Al Jazeera report when they say American helicopter fired at Iraqi newsmen where they talk what they really do on ground. When they release secret dossier come become the truth where they hide. The torture, Guantanamo Bay, they come to the country, anybody where they can get put on there. Before the war in Iraq happened, before 9/11 happened, the drones when they bomb those people for Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all those people from time, it only happened for years. Just like the Donetsk and the Lugansk problem with the Republic of Ukraine. So to me, any aspect of the war, you see the graphic images now, you see people, the way they bomb, they kill, the way Russia say they bombard them. To me, I don't think it's a very good thing. I think it would be nice when they quickly solve and border the greed of the West and the future plans of having an edge over them. That be the issue. Before they attack Gaddafi for Libya, Libyans don't know say with Gaddafi there, they were living a good life because he really looked after the indigenous Libyans. But Gaddafi had an issue with the West, and Gaddafi do a few bad things too. At the end of the day, Tony Blair was close to Gaddafi. He made sure say they send them to there, make sure say the guy don't get nuclear bomb. When they don't establish say not get them, they go back, they activate. That's why they remove the guy from power. Since when they remove Gaddafi from power, now there's also militia men everywhere. And the same Europeans that they buy the crude oil when the so-called rebels they sell. So anybody who against us, say, even if person are your God, if you still happy to say, oh God, this war, we're not ready to go this war. So that at the end of the day, the unfortunate situation, you see small children, people in the hospital, elderly women for Ukraine. If you see the pains when those people they go through, you will not say my brother war not good at any time.
Frank, one thing we did this, we look at what other aspects, responses from other nations. If you look at Nigeria now with the same plane say we will go carry our people. Most countries already carry their people command, and now we call the same plane they go. Why is it you see all the time we always stay slow in responding to all these kind of issues?
Now the value we will get for our citizens. American people, they don't announce long ago, come carry your people. If you did say American, come house. Even Egypt, don't move their people long ago. But Nigerian government, they calculate, I say to me, I mean to say, they calculate here and there, and the number of students, they will not get the actual number of students, because not the government send them, go there. Now when government send people from here, go there, go school, if you get the right number, number one. Number two, you get a lot of Nigerians who are in Ukraine. You don't get the country of this world the way Nigerians not there. So Nigerian government not get the record of those Nigerians who are in Ukraine outside, these are going to be students. So now major challenge. And I say, when they listen to news today, they don't start to carry plane, they're going to evacuate them from Poland. But some say they complain, say they don't get enough information. So the Ministry of External Affairs, Foreign Affairs, if you love what they are talking now, it's like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We don't get enough information. And Abike Tabri will be the president in charge of diaspora. They don't get enough contacts with our Nigerians. So first, not the Nigerian government send you go there. They don't get real value for our people. Because as you go there by yourself, now you know whether you come back or not. If you don't go to school, finish.
Fine, just wait. Maybe for us, if you want to join our program this evening, we just, my brother Frank still talk, but more just let them know, say, If you want to make any comment, just call our phone number 052-290-573. Call the number again, 052-290-573, in case you want to join us to make any contribution with the toxins, the lessons learned from these things as a country like Nigeria and as a people, and the way forward out of this crisis. Frank, you said something.
Yes. Even when you don't go to school for Ukraine, you come back, no work. So Nigeria not get any register. So the essence, whoever do passport, you all go there now for mobile, for Benin, they say booklet, not day. So, you know, the day, you will take care of Nigeria. You don't go to with a party or north or south of Nigeria, we lack proper leadership. Because, as I talk, what we need to start, you get one lecturer for University of Benin, we don't come out. We won't bring his son come from Ukraine, when they use the small salary to they train. Now, as should they say, repair universities. Where the lab, the library, the structure, repair them. Federal government don't do anything. That's why some Nigerians that still get small money, we know the value of education. Come out. They go get this education. If they like, they come back. To me, if you go to school for abroad, they don't come back, you don't carry on from there. Okay, because no salary enough to take care of you.
Hello? 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 Okay.
So, as I just learned now, that professor salary for universities for Nigeria, not reach $1,000. Professor salary. So, who don't go manage training children abroad? To me, just look for work for them. Instead of they don't come out. So, Nigerian government get to fix a lot of things. Infrastructure, social amenities, fix them. If Nigerian system good, people for go to school for a year now. So a lot of things not do okay. The way we take go school, the way we take go school, the way for the way the school they go on now, and they talk all the time. Where they school, now one person to one microscope, one person. So that anything they put for there, you go see them by yourself. You go draw, your person will break. But now about 10 people go surround microscope, and only one person will look at. Now that person if he see, now he will tell you, you go write him. And if you say A, you say that B, you come for girls say right. When they talk for if you want to go library now, who books they there? So that the way Nigeria they structured. At first I go school for abroad. If the Nigeria for go school, if you don't pass for my sis, the system for there, who don't pass for this world, they'll give us things to take work. Nigeria has no book well, but we not get the facilities. You know, they will take light. Now we're supposed to take for granted. That's why they breathe air in and out. If you want to go out now, you go pray. Say, Father, go before me, go with me, go after me. Fear everywhere.
But Nigerian government is still trying. I want to take approve.
Approve money.
To evacuate and come back.
No, not there is ability. No, there is ability.
But yes, when they talk to some people, say they're not going to go, even if say
everyone stay back, we'll stay back.
Some people say they're not going to come back.
And at your risk.
Apparently, now what did they talk for me? They're not
yes.
whether that's true.
They talk for news
initially,
but they will carry on
but
today.
Now I think the effort is being made to return them. And I'm not thinking only Nigerians they stop for that at the
No,
moment.
now better people suppose they imitate. Better people. No?
You know, you see, to a large extent, I understand your point. You get it. You get my point. I, for instance, I'm not a fan of the foreign affairs minister. He just did it. He be like rubber stamp. He don't really know what to do.
Those I call foreign affairs.
Enough phantom the possibility of what you could go. Or, you know, say they say now give you something. I know what it is that thing. Like the American government knows a problem. That problem they want to escalate to an extent. So they are quickly to tell their people to leave. Like in 2015, when Jonathan did power. The American government tell their citizens made them leave because they believe, say, maybe this kind of issues will still happen, but God stand by us. It don't really happen. I'm happy about that, but at least, no matter how bad it is, mostly try to see how officially applaud efforts from government for, I think Air Max don't bring the set now.
Okay. Yeah, one group don't come out.
Hello?
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Mr. Joseph President.
Okay, where did you call us from?
I'm calling from Benin.
Okay, go ahead, Joseph. Go ahead.
One thing I want to contribute is, you know, say, this war now, You have to show Nigeria. Nigeria needs to learn things for this war. But about this Biafra issue and Nigeria issue, so everybody should learn something during this very one now. That is my contribution. So let Nigeria learn something.
What do you think government will feel learn?
We think government should learn.
Yes.
Let Africa and the government put their problem in order. Let them settle it. Let them not let anything, any war come out of it. Because if you come out of it, that is the way you have to be. That is what is happening now. That is exactly what Nigeria will experience. So let them put their house in order. Settle their problem between Biafra and Nigeria. So that anyone will not come out of it.
Okay, just like you talk.
Yeah, so like I said, you talk about the Foreign Affairs Ministry, their late reactions to stuff and whatnot. So me, when we talk about say our place not the function the way it ought to be, and when there's also to an extent a kind of a way out, I still like to pound more on the positive aspect, because I think what we really can really establish today now, who really they tell us the wrong information, who really they tell us the truth. You understand, on the Ukraine matter. Why Russia feels the need to unleash mayhem on the innocent citizens of Ukraine. What the Ukrainian government they do, we annoy them. And secondly, they see the fear for their own security because of the wayo that they don't deal with each other. Because Russian government say the American and NATO allies and their foreign Western partners assure them saying they're not going to extend NATO come pass all those Poland and all those Czechoslovakia. But now, what did they tell them? They're not going to do it. They want to extend that NATO come their backyard. Which they felt them 20 years ago say it not going to happen. Even in 20 years from now, it not going to still happen. For that kind of thing to happen, in short, they go do what they need to do to make sure that they're safe. So not be American to determine their safety. You question what they do for Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. Since when they leave those places, peace never ever did those places. The arms so they supply and give those countries where they take fire, they benefited from it. Now their arms, they paid heavily for them. None of those things that they support, even the humanitarian, whatever, the country where they did the problem, still they pay them to give them humanitarian aid. So the aspect of war don't go. How are they able to get people to get involved in those kind of conflicts? When they themselves go forget, say women and children there, because at the end, like you talk, they'll constantly negotiate and dialogue. Why not implement that as a first world country? Why allow the war to happen when you know, say, Ukraine is a small baby compared to Russia, where you get military might? Just like America now, maybe Ukraine won't fight America, you know, say they're not going to fit. Why allow them to pound those people like that?
Good evening, though.
Hello, good evening. How are we doing?
Fine. What do you already they call us from?
Okay, Mr. Ekben.
Okay.
Okay.
Where you come from, sir?
I'm calling from Benin.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And Nigerians will really learn something from the ongoing war going on between Russia and Ukraine. We need to look within. We need to look within. We don't need to rely on foreign hands all the time. Look for Ukraine. Look the way they stand their ground. For 1 week, they call on EU for help. For that 1 week now, like so they make it 8 days. They are standing on their ground. They're not to get power like that with Russia. Sorry to use the word, but they are still standing on their ground. I think Nigeria should take that, and we should unite. We should unite. We are all Nigerians, east, west, north, south. We get one benefit from one another. We should get one thing. Or we get different things. If you go east now, you know, what you see for east, not stand for west. What did they see for north, not stand for south. What did they find for south, you not go stand for west. So I think the government really needs to play a bigger role. The role to unite the country. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Just what if you see give Ukraine that kind of boldness to the go, the threaten also which one with the superpower
You see, you just need a stooge, like a pro-Western president and the ESCO, in terms of the executive arm of government. When they don't train many of those people, the guy will be president of Ukraine and a former actor and a comedian now. You can imagine a comedian who probably was not born during the Soviet time, who was not born during the First World War, the Second World War. They tell her the story. You'll be comedian, you'll be actor, be paraventure, because they don't gas you for the West, they can't put you there as president. You won't come fight with people will be of historic relationship. Russians and Ukrainians, they're not different. So for you to be the small Pekin, we don't know the effect of war. It just be like some of us when they never born during the Nigerian Civil War. The way they tell us the story, we know, say, even the other day when President Buhari talked, he said a senseless war where so many people die. 3 million people die for East, our own brothers. What is the purpose for that war? Though that has come and gone, you realize that a lot of the instability in our society today, even from the issue of the IPOB, outside the aspect of value for the argument, you realize, say, for you to fight to destroy your own self. When they say, if they play football as Nigerian, all the corners of Nigeria go get up happy, no matter which name they write for that shirt. Whether na Igbo man name, whether na Hausa man name or Fulani, whether na Edo or Satana or Yoruba man, we unite as one. Today, happy say our country score. And that kind of spirit we need to carry into our people. Make we bring back history, back to our classrooms. From people who did primary school, maybe they teach them our history. Maybe they talk about things which lead to the division in the past. Maybe they not cover them up so that they go understand, not to do too much, they do sentimental or they argue ignorantly on certain aspects. So for that Russian Ukrainian president to talk within the talk, now because they take orders from the US and their interest. If the Europeans, most of the people with the Security Council,
but for instance, UK don't mail come out for that matter.
UK go always when they go destabilize Libya. Libya is in the northern hemisphere of the African coast. They know say Libya destabilize Italy and all those places. They go get problem. When the influx of refugees don't come from the war where they create, where Sarkozy and David Cameron start. UK talk about Brexit. They say they don't want the European Union again because they don't want to accommodate those Northern Africans. People of the descent in the likes of Zinedine Zidane and the rest of them. UK within Europe still tell they say they don't even want the European Union again. They need to renegotiate. So if they feel do that kind of thing, play while you run. And Germany and all those France and the rest of in the European economic area get to carry the burden of the influx. Is it not enough for them to realize that even the United Nations they don't get unity?
Okay, time not again. We hear about these oligarchs and somebody like the owner Abramovich, owner of
Chelsea Football Club.
Don't say once said the place make he dash the money. So the within the poor call the same message because Abramovich now from Russia. He won't sell a football club, go dash the money to Ukraine. Why?
Because you see, when people they desperate, I see the Americans and the Western and Europeans as desperate people. You never even start war. You say Russia president they misbehave. Focus on that Russian president. Deal with the Russian president. Deal with the Russian government when they make decisions. Okay, are you saying that because we are blacks or Nigerians, one Nigerian man carry bomb for plane to go Detroit? You say all Nigerians, they victimize everybody. So if people of Russian descent, like Abramovich, who invest billions for Chelsea and UK, they live there happily because in a friend of Putin, you want sanction, it means that they are just fighting a lost war already because they've gone petty. You don't understand? If you stop the second pipeline and then you condition Russian government and as an entity, not be to the target people will be say if you say hello to the Russian president. That is why the guy once said all those things before they seize them. Because when they don't seize them, then they say go thief them. All the money they look from Nigeria, it did there, they're not going to return now. You know.
Frank, time not again. Would you be advised to government of Nigeria and the people on any lesson we will learn from this thing?
You know, for East, some parts of West, they want to say they want to get their own country. And now lesson now, because all those fighty, killy, they help anything. So if government of Nigeria feel unite all of us together, you feel come sit down together for round table, say, okay, A, what you need, B, what you need, all of us going to agree. Nigeria will be a great nation for Africa before, you still come back. So that all of us will speak the same language. Because If they say we really look where Nigeria be, we get a lot of natural resources. Now that we fight here and there, then come back to say all those things not feel manifest anymore. So if we fit sit down, look human, natural resources, Nigeria will fit stand the world.
Somebody, the next discussion we will do now, somebody from Nigeria say we look for means to say where they feel place like this, make the edit or remove state of origin, ethnic, and local government,
yes,
and all of those things.
You go ahead.
That we all say I am a Nigerian.
So first, sorry, let me just say this. If nationalism, they lead to patriotism. If you don't believe in oneness, nobody will be patriotic. So to remove all those local governments and those ones, not to, all of us will get say all of us will be Nigerians. So therefore help.
I not say we they try a proper solution as to what to go unite us. If that solution are the way to go, I feel that it's a bit, we are very intelligent people. Why, when they play football or Nigeria, they do Olympics, why everybody be Nigerian nationalist? When it comes to the issues of certain people they agitate, those agitation are politically motivated move to offset anything at the center. That's why whenever I come, I know they speak against the center. Do you know why? In the eastern region now, or the western region, or the southern region, or the northern region, now people of those ethnic descent, now be their governors. The person where they the center as the president, never ever hold their allocation. Whatever investment where they control foreign direct investment, the center never ever block them. The money go their hand, they go siphon their money, the governors go chop their money by themselves. Outside the place like Ebonyi State and Enugu State, for the east, for example, every other state, if you go to, for example, Imo, or you go to other states, you see say that their own people, they siphon their money. How you go to the blame with this center, when the business now you, they govern yourself. So we are one Nigeria. If we do all those things, maybe in a way to simplify the understanding. Not necessarily because we know they play as one when they play football. Then when it comes to politics, people call them want to manipulate people because they don't say they're not intelligent. So now the governors of those states, now they go ask, make their people ask their governors from time during democracy, what did they do with their money? Maybe they blame the center.
Tiosa Egiabo rather, and my brother Frank Amego, I salute you now and say join us this evening, and those of now they call us from different parts of the world, we salute you again. Bless you, President. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I beg, quickly, now the last call is your name and where they call us from.
I'm calling from Benin.
Go ahead.
My name is Mr. Ken.
Okay.
I just want to speak about the unity of Nigeria.
Okay.
When we are talking of unity, and first of all, we should know that we have three entities in Nigeria, like Igbo, the Yoruba, and the Hausa. Okay, the problem we are having is greed.
All right, you say the problem with the guests, now be the time go permit us for this program. I salute you, brother, again. We say they watch us from any part of the world. God bless Nigeria. Good night.